What is up, guys? My name's Kel, and I'm back with another cringy video for you guys today. As you might know, it is the end of the year, end of 2020. 2020 was a pretty interesting year with all the COVID stuff, increased trucks and train traffic, because everybody's trying to get the essentials to where they gotta go. So I hope you guys are staying safe, are staying good out there. And yeah, so we're gonna get onto this 2020 end of the year special. It is currently 5 o'clock where I am in Ohio, so in like a couple hours, it's going to be New Year's Day, the start of 2021. Let's hope 2021 is a better year without this COVID stuff going around. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to be doing today is my old train drawings. These are drawings when I drew when I was very little, and they don't look as good as most, but yeah, I got better in my opinion. So yeah, let's get onto the video. So first off, we have this Union Pacific SD70 Ace traveling through a tunnel in the default paint scheme. Next up, we have UP 4141 George H.W. Bush SD70 Ace. After that, or next we have the Union Pacific 1988 Heritage Unit, the Katy. And this one unfortunately did have some water get onto it, that little mark right there. Next up, we have 3 SD70 ACEs on the 4th of July because it says it at the top. This was drawn on July 4, 2019. So on the left, we have a Ferromex SD70 ACE. On the right, we have a BNSF SD70 ACE. And in the middle, we have a Western Pacific Heritage Unit for UP. Next up, we have Missouri Pacific Heritage Unit from UP. I draw on this one as a street runner. And last but not least, we have KCS SD70 ACE. I tried to draw rust on it, but it didn't turn out how I liked it. So yeah. So that's my first ever train drawings. And my last one is this bigger one. Try to get in the frame. So over here we have George Bush 4141 SD70 ACE. And to the right we have UP 1943 SD70 AH. And I just drew a little American flag and 2 Union Pacific logos on the side. And we're not done with Train Fever yet. This is UP 1943 when it's enlarged. So this is like when I was starting to get into more specifics for trains, like the truck detail. It's more detail on the bottom, and the lines are straighter and everything. So when I drew this is when I was starting to get away from like drawing the background, cause some people like to draw the whole entire background or back scene of the area. But me, I like to draw mostly just the train or whatever I'm drawing, and then maybe I'll draw the background if I feel like it that day. But for majority of the times, I would just draw like just the train or the locomotive or the freight car or whatever I'm drawing. And we have 2 more train drawings. I did not draw as much. This was one of my best city drawings I ever did. So, like here, I just drew the buildings. There's not really, like, the sun is not here, or the moon, or there's no, like, cloud detail. I just drew, like, the road in the middle. You draw the shadows. And this is in, I think, 3D. I think it was, or in 3D. Yes. But that's one of my drawings I tried to put and show everybody. And last but not least was this drawing. So this drawing was an attempt to get on Fox 8 News. Because I wanted to try to get myself on the news just to see if it get updated or looked at by the news. But it never did because I never sent it in. Because I did it to the wrong thing. Because we never knew how to did it. But yeah, this was a Tiger Train. In real life, the graffiti artist who did this, it was a SD70 Mac, I think. It was not a SD70, it was a SD70 Mac, not an Ace. We have a little fox right there and the Fox 8 News logo and the SD70 ACE with the graffiti tiger stripes on it. Alright guys, so that is all my train drawings. So now we're going to get into some model trains. And before we get into that, I mean, you guys have already seen this, but I might as well show it again. See it? No, I'm joking. But this was the Spirit of Union Pacific SD70 A8 shirt, UP 1943. Get it all in there. This was a beautiful shirt from Daylight Sales Productions. As you can see it right there. The Union Pacific shield is to the right. 1943 is in the whole picture. And it's very cool how detailed the printing is, because just look at that. That's just in the plow. In the anti-climber. And the cab and all the shapes look pretty good for the most part. And the funny thing is, what my grandma actually did to this shirt was this. So this is a CXS Transportation railroad patch for railroad police and CXS Transportation. So I was at the Leary Amtrak station, just rail fanning, doing some typical rail fanning stuff. And then we were actually coming back from somewhere, so we just decided to stop by the Amtrak station. There was a cop actually sitting there just because some people were messing around on the track somewhere, so he was just patrolling the area. And then I was going up there to see if a train was coming, and then he told me if there was a train coming, because I did not bring the scanner or anything. I just came there unprepared. So he told me there were no through freights or locals or yard transfers, so that we end up just going back home because there was nothing happening. So yeah, that is my UP 1943 shirt. And then he gave me the patch, and then my grandma just actually sewed it on there. So I have UP 1943 with this awesome decaling, the UP shield, the little writing down there, and I have the patch on the right sleeve of my shirt. So next up, we're gonna get into some model trains, some actual retail models. So first off, we're gonna do my locomotives that don't really work. They work, but yeah, they don't work at all. So first off is this, my first ever train that I still have was this right here. This is that Super Chief set from Bachmann. So since this locomotive, I actually dropped it and the wheels fell off, or one of the wheels fell off, and it was never repairable. I actually just tried to make a dummy unit, and then when that didn't work, I just put some details on it to make it look like it actually got into like a real life wreck, but I still have yet to do it. The next locomotive I have, I tried to do the same thing. I dropped it. When I was little, I was very clumsy with model trains. So this is a Canadian National SD70 or SD40-2. I said SD70 so many times, but this is a CN SD40-2. With the cab is actually missing, and the wheels are too. So this was a Bachmann HL scale SD40. Next up, we have this Walthers SD70 Ace. And yes, the wheels and trucks and the fuel tank are off this one too. This is a 4843 SD70 ACE for CXS. And then I don't know why, but I was seriously clumsy with trains for some reason. I don't know why. And this train right here works, but it sort of doesn't. So this is a Western Pacific F7. I know it doesn't look like Western Pacific because Western Pacific is normally green, or the F7s were. But since the F7 paint was scratching off, I got a spray paint, and then I tried to like make a New York Central F7 out of it, like a custom. And the special thing about this unit is it's a Bachmann Easy App unit. So what you can do, you plug it up to a DC or DCC layout, and then you can like download Bachmann Easy App, the app on your iOS and Android and iPhone app. I think comes for all three. And then you can run, like, you can use your smartphone to run the locomotive on tracks. So that I did that a lot, actually. And last but not least, we have Norfolk Southern 1069 Heritage Unit. This was the SD70 ACE that this was one of my favorite units I ever had. Well, it was my favorite unit because this one doesn't work, unfortunately, because when I went to go test it out or drive it or run it on my HL scale layout, something in it didn't work and it kept like winding, but I don't know why, and then it eventually just burnt out. Luckily no smoke was everywhere, but it just burnt out for some reason. I don't know why. So now we're gonna get into some more actual working model trains. So first off, we're gonna do freight cars because, you know, why not? So first off, we have this Wisconsin Central coal hopper. This was in the Rail Chief Bachmann HO scale train set. This was my second train set I have ever had, or that I can remember. This was my second train set I had. And next up we have this Canadian National gondola. Some people say gondola, the others say gondola. But I think in like America you say gondola, and like other countries they say gondola. But this is another car in the same train set. So actually I'm gonna keep these ones. So these two are in the same train set. Next up we have the BNSF, I think this was a BNSF 40-foot boxcar that was yellow, or Burlington Northern. It was in the Rail Chief set, but since the paint was scratching off on this one too, I did try to make a New York Central boxcar, which is still in the works. I have to do like a couple more coats of spray paint, and then I have to put some decals on it. So let's put these right here. And the last one that came out of this train set was this BNSF off-center caboose. I don't think these ever existed, to my knowledge. There might have been a couple of these. The off-center caboose existed, but I don't think the paint scheme for this caboose really did exist. So yeah, I do not know. And for the locomotives of this train set was this right here. This is a very sharp-looking GP38. Or GP40-2. 3001, this was a GP40-2 in the Bachmann Rail Chief set. So this boxcar right here, the off-center caboose, the gondola, the coal hopper, and this sharp BNSF GP40-2 all came in the same set. So now we're just gonna put these over here so I don't review them again. And let's go back to the freight cars. We'll do locomotives in the after everything is done. So right here, this is a Walthers. I think this was either I don't know what length it was, but it was a longer box car. It was like a heritage unit to Walthers. I think this was this was a Walthers unit, Walthers 75. And it did have like a little custom Walthers. Little right there. In 2007, that's actually, it was funny though, because 2007, that's actually the year I was born in. I was born in 07. So this box card always did stick out to me. And next up, we have this 40-foot box car for Heinz. This was like back in the day. If you saw a lot of trains, you would see like these cars with like the Heinz. Baby Ruth is a couple of examples of it, and then you would see like the actual markets on the box cars themselves. Nowadays, like if you see a tank car or something, it would be like, for instance, you have Procore and Norfolk Incorporated, different companies like that. And I think one of my last freight cars that I still have are these well cars right here. These are 40-foot well cars. These ones are pretty. These are from Walthers. It cost under like $100 and they're nice and sturdy, because these are actually the best types of cars I had, because these ones are made of real like metal. Like if you get both of them, you can. These are like really like cast iron hard. Like if you threw these at somebody, I'm pretty sure it would probably hurt. That's the longest one out of them all, is right there. So these ones did come in a set of 5. And yes, and we're not done with these ones yet, because I have some containers for them. So these are 40-foot containers I bought off Amazon. They're like $5, $4, $9, around the price range of that. So the first one I got was this China shipping right here. These ones actually do, they fit pretty well. So they do fit pretty well in there. We'll just fill them up so you guys can see. So I super glued these two together. This is a K-line 40-foot container and the Mateson 40-foot container. Stick them in there like that. Do double stacked. I always wondered if you got another container, just put it on the top like that. After that, we have this American Presidential Lines 40-foot container. And you can tell it's APL because you can see that little marking right there. The camera's not focusing, but you can sort of see it in there. So we'll put that right in there. And next up, we have these undecorated 40-foot containers. So if you get spray paint and some decals, you can put them on. You can put the spray paint on to put the decals on top of the spray paint. I can't talk today. And last but not least, we have another one. Well, I glued these two together, and this right here. So these two right here, and then this one came in a set. So there's 3 sets. So the China shipping container came alone. The Mateson and the K-line came together. That's why I glued them 2 together. And then the APL lines, American Presidential Lines container came by itself. And then these two came. These three came together, but you can't have triple stacked. It would look cool, but probably not realistic enough. So yeah, let's just get these out the way. Get a good look at them while you can. And I hope you guys are having a very good day. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. My condolences do go out to you guys who have to work and all that stuff. And I'm sorry if you got laid out or laid off. I can't talk today. Alright, so the last locomotive that works but sort of doesn't work, I forgot about this one, is this. Now, I know you guys might be thinking, you destroyed this train. This train is mutilated. But actually, this train that looks like literally destroyed, it still runs. Like, I thought it was broken, and then I wanted to get the paint off because the paint got scratched. So this was actually a Union Pacific, one of my first Union Pacific GP40s I have ever had. My first UP engine I have ever had. I know it doesn't look like Union Pacific anymore, but this was actually, I think, UP 567. I know it was 567 because 567, 50, 67. Yeah, but this engine got mutilated in water. This locomotive has been dunked in water. It has been thrown by somebody. It has been scratched. It has been dented. And this was a real trooper. This was a very strong locomotive, so that's a good thing. But it's a very strong runner, but the only caveat to that is it doesn't run as good as you might want it. Or it runs, but it just doesn't look as good as some people might want it. And another unit is this. This is a Bachmann CXS GP40-2. And something funny about this number right here. As you can see, 4409. I actually did see this unit in real life right down the street. Well, it wasn't right down the street. It was somewhere in like Cleveland or something. I went to go rail fan. But I actually saw a CXS 4409. It was in Cleveland, right? I think near the steel mill or somewhere around that area. But I actually saw this unit. I'm like, oh, look at that. And I also did see this near me, where I live. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And this was a great runner right here. This was one of my best GP40 runners I've ever had. And it was only like $64, and it was a pretty good locomotive. Because if you look at one of my other rail fanning videos, if you type in CXS, I don't remember the exact name. I might have to go look it up and link it in the description. But yeah, if you type up like my YouTube channel and then go to like CXS locals, you'll see CXS 4409 somewhere. So that's a pretty neat little side effect right there. Next up, we're moving on to the bigger units. So this right here, let's get it right here. This is Norfolk Southern 9250. I got this as a present on my birthday, actually. And this is an MTH. And MTH actually stands for Mike's Train House. So if you guys didn't know that, This unit shows off the old style Norfolk Southern logo without the horse. And there's Operation Lifesaver on the side right here too. Saving lives at America's grade crossings, or rail crossings. So that was a pretty cool locomotive I had too. This video is already 20 minutes long somehow, I don't know. It'll be over in a minute, guys. But the last Norfolk Southern unit I think I have is this right here. I bought this recently. This is Norfolk Southern 1066. The New York Central Heritage unit. Let me put it right here so my TV doesn't get it. Alright. This is one of Norfolk Southern's 20. One of their 20 heritage units. This is SD70 Ace. And the reason why I wanted to paint, like, let me get them. So the reason why I wanted to paint this boxcar, 40-foot boxcar, and this F7 locomotive is because, I mean, I think, in my knowledge, I think, New York Central did have F7s, and they did have 40-foot boxcars, and now Norfolk Southern owns this 1066 Heritage unit, so it would look cool if I could do, like, a custom, like, New York Central little fleet, if you want to call it, if you will. So let's put this over here. Alright, and now we're gonna move on to a really, really big locomotive. One of the biggest diesel locomotives ever built in the world. It wasn't the DD35, it was a DDA30X. I almost said DDA45, I almost said 5. But this is the DDA40X. It was a Bachmann unit, the first one. I think this was like the first production line, or maybe like the second. This number is 6929, and it was actually a pretty good one for a Bachmann unit. This was actually a pretty good locomotive. But the only thing I will say that is unrealistic is if you look on the front of this. So you guys can see the truck right here. You can see the wheels in the truck, but the whole plow, it's not full. Like in real life, the plow, you can see like the air hoses. Like the reason why Bachmann has done it like this, and I can't understand where their point is. The reason why like the whole plow is not full is because the wheels, the coupler is connected to the wheels, and when the wheel moves, the coupler moves. So when the coupler moves, if it's connected to cars behind it, it can go around curves easier. So that was a cool thing. And another thing is, in the real version of this unit, if you look in the middle, that little motor, because this is a flywheel 16 drive motor. So in the middle right there, you can see the motor. And in real life, that's not accurate. Because in real life, this right here, this area is a engine. And then in the back, there's an engine. So there's two separate engines in this one locomotive. The DD35 was actually two GP35s placed in one. And this locomotive was the successor of the DD35. This is a DDA40X. I really cannot talk today. This was a DDA40X, a successor to the DDA35. So yeah, that's good. And I think I do like the DDA40X better because, like, the cab is different. The DDA35 just had the GP35's cab, but the DDA40X, it has, like, its own separate cab. I keep saying DDA40 and DDA30, oh my gosh. But the last locomotive of this list we will be checking out is was Union Pacific 4141 George H.W. Bush SD70 Ace. That's a mouthful. But yeah, this was a pretty good unit by Walthers. This was a DC unit. Unfortunately, I would have loved to hear this unit in DCC. Well, there is an Athearn version of this one that is DCC. But yeah, this was a pretty cool unit. And I will say, yes, the handrails are missing. The handrails and then the writing in the middle. Because I was going to run this train, and then I just saw, like, the number was scraping up. I'm like, why is like, my trains keep scraping up? But then I realized, like, it was this unit, the 4141 that you guys are looking at right now, and then like the DDA-40X, they were scraping against each other, and then it was peeling away at the numbers. So I'm like, oh no, well, how am I gonna fix this? And then I put like a fence in between, because normally if I know I'm not gonna be able to run my trains for a couple of weeks, I put them upstairs so I can. Because normally when I'm playing like games like Minecraft, for example, I can use this locomotive as a reference so you can see all the wheels. Like that Minecraft video I did recently, like the 3-to-1 scale trains, the 1943 and 41 and 1111. I use like 4141 as a reference, but then change the paint scheme. So yeah, that's a cool thing. So yeah, guys, that's all my model trains, and I'm just kidding. That's not all my model trains. My newest addition to my train family is the one and only. It's a Union Pacific train that is no longer in service, I think. But this is my first Athearn SD40-2, and this is 3593. So yes, we will be doing an unboxing, and it is DCC equipped right there. But yeah, we're going to be doing an unboxing real quick, so let's get into it. So yeah, this is a pretty cool unit. I just don't want to slide it out. So I did unpackage this. Oh no, I didn't actually. Hold on. Yeah, I did unbox this once already because I'm so like anxious to get my trains. But what you have right here, let me just see. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. So yeah, what you have with this Athearn RTR standing for Ready to Roll SD40-2, you have an economic quick start guide. You have, like, if you guys want to blow that up to 1080p, well, maybe you can see it right now. You got a ton of horns, Nathan K5 LAs, K5 3Ls, and the reason why there's so many horns, there's even a Hancock air whistle. But the reason why this locomotive has so many horns and all units have so many horns is because this locomotive ran in different eras, well, different horn eras. So, like for instance, SD70 Ace might have a K5 LLA, but then in the next generation, it's gonna have a hybrid K5 LLA. Like this Cell Express has a hybrid K5 LA, while another unit might have a Leslie S5 RT, and then it's going to be changed to a K5 LA. So different locomotives have different horns, depending on when they ran and what era they ran in. So you have a ton of horns, and you have a couple of bells you can hook up with this. You have prime movers, EMD 1, 2, 3, 4, Canadian brass. You have a lot of sound differences for this. And if you want to adjust sound volumes, it's right there. You got what you can press with you can change the CVs. So what that means is basically you get CVs, like if the horn on default locomotives is like the long horn is for 2, but if you wanted the horn button to be on 1, you could change the CVs, and you can change the horn from 2 to 1. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm still trying to figure it out. But anyways, I might have confused you guys a bit, but we're going to be doing the actual unboxing of this locomotive real quick, because this video is getting a bit long. Wow, that is a beautiful unit. Look at that. Let's just zoom in that real quick. Look at that. And yes, these names are legible. So actually, if I can zoom in, like I said, guys, blow it up to 1080p if you can, and you can read the numbers. You can read this easier. This says right here, Union Pacific salutes employees reserved for Desert Storm. Yes, wait, Union Pacific salutes employees reserved duty for Desert Storm. And Desert Storm, if you guys don't know, is what this unit is based off of. Desert Storm was actually it was a name after a war named the Gulf War. So I think this war took place in the desert, and that's why this unit was made. It was a commemoration unit for all the employees who were on reserve for Desert Storm, also known as the Gulf War. So that's why this unit was made. So let's actually do the unboxing of it. there you go. This is a very beautiful unit. We're gonna do the other side too, yeah. Alright guys, so my phone is actually about to die, I'm very sorry. But yeah, so but we will be running this unit later, so if you guys have any questions about any concerns, like the video, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next year. And I'll see you guys next year. I already said that twice for some reason, I don't know. I'm goofy sometimes, but yeah, I'll see you guys next year. Probably when I upload another video. So yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you have any questions about this unit or any of the other units over there or anywhere, please let me know. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.